Good morning and welcome to Daily Game Design. I'm actually going to circle back to Ravens. And Ravens is a game that I first started working on with my friend Kristen. We had this idea to have games in place, a game or games in place for the next major, the next major event. There's an event that happens every 5 years called the Pathfinder International Pathfinder Camporee, and it's a pretty neat event. It's really big. I went there last time 2 summers ago, and that's when I released my Pathfinder game. And anyway, so every camporee there's a major character, Bible character, and theme that they'll build a big play around. I think there's some other ways that theme shows up. There's a theme song. So anyway, we thought the character's Elijah, and we thought it'd be kind of cool to have some games ready for the camporee. Games that would introduce more Pathfinders to hobby style games, and that would remind them of important ideas that would help them coordinate, work together. That would be accessible enough. So we have these kind of interesting design pressures to work with, and I feel like we went through a lot of ideas. We had several meetings where we made some really cool progress. And actually, wow, it's been so long since I looked at this. It's almost like relearning the game. This was something that Eric Lang pointed out. He doesn't keep a storage. He doesn't keep old prototypes in storage. Or if he does keep something, if he returns to it and he doesn't remember how it works, then he throws it out because it somehow was so unintuitive that the ideas didn't, or it was intuitive enough that the ideas didn't stick. So he thought, well, okay, that's like a good measure for whether or not to continue working on the game. I'm afraid at this moment that the ideas will not have stuck. So I don't want to throw away this prototype. Okay, so last time we worked on it was in August. That doesn't seem right. Well, it makes sense in that my focus would have shifted to working on Adra HQ, and yeah, that would make a lot of sense. See, I have a feeling that what I'm looking at already feels a little too far removed from Pathfinders. I feel like a very simple card game might work a lot better. Okay, this one we had Zach. I actually want to message Zach right now. I'm returning to Ravens and thought to check in. Okay. Yeah, okay, so I think I will need TTS for this. And let me close a bunch of this stuff. I think, well, if I remember right, what we were like the point that we were that we left off was something about a complete redesign of the board and of the map. I think exploring is a neat theme and idea. So I think we kind of increased, we built this, we're brainstorming a modular map. Maintains your idea of separate terrain bags. And the terrain tiles show some number of icons to cover. Or two, we simplify further to one bag of resources. The terrain tiles simply ask for different numbers of tiles from that bag. For towns, I'm imagining either a stack of bread tiles or stack of random tiles that players can look through when they visit the town. Maybe reset every round or something like that. Here's a possible layout, a few experimental ideas here. A single starting nest tile. The brown tile in the middle, players explore from the edge of these tiles currently on the table, adding a new tile by connecting the arrow on the new tile to an open edge of the tile they're on. Elijah may be shuffled in the bottom quarter of the tiles, something like that. The dots are located for placing locations for placing tiles from the draw bag. I'm wondering whether these tiles should be face up or face down in this case. For towns, not too sure if they should be here or how they work. I have a feeling that like this feels so far from Uno or from Speed. I just cannot imagine getting this taught. I can't. I just don't know. Okay, let me find this old layout. Oh, wow. I don't even understand these components. Oh, these are the tiles. What? Okay, so then a town would, I would take some number of these, right? Oh, these are the traps. Oh, pink bag. Pink bag. Okay, what was the idea? What was the idea? Uh Okay, let's just say these are the Ravens, right? And okay, this one has come over here. This one starts, let's say they start here, and then, oh, it's the degrees that should be different. There we go. Okay, so he hops onto here. So it takes one step, and then let's say all Ravens move 2 steps. So this is shuffled, and they draw, and they pull bread. Okay. So pink has bread. What in the world are these? Those are the colors? Okay. I wonder if this shape is not great. Like, what if there's another... I wonder if there's another shape that might be more fitting. Like, it's going to be a lot to move around. How do I build... Where did this come from? Maybe let me go check Canva. Because what I'm thinking now is if they're a different shape, then they won't be leaving these gaps. Wait, I guess they could sit like this, but then it's still a lot of like extra movement for no reason, right? Like if they're just hexes, I do think a little empty space is good. That's why I'm already thinking about Ravens. Okay, so I did make them like this. I'm already thinking about some different shapes. So rather than these larger shapes, like let me duplicate this. Actually, I would think that this is probably a great central, so this is probably good, right? Because if you have 4 players and you want to place them around this, I think that's great. Or, yeah, just have the nest in the middle. However, if it's another thing here, I think, like, what if they were all 3s? Would that be a little better contained? Like, would that fit together nicely? And then in that way, like, there's just no need for this extra movement, right? Okay. So let's say, let's move this to the middle for sure. It's kind of an odd, maybe 4. Let me try 4 actually. Okay, so I can leave it like this. And I kind of think it'd be nice to orient this because I think Canva cares about the orientation. Um, so if these kind of nicely line up, wait, let me see. Let me try to, I can't really visualize this very well. So if they put it here, they'd have these 4 going this way. But the thing is, I think we also want to allow uh, actually I just got a message from cool. So I'm gonna. It sounds like I'll be able to try Elden the board game Elden Ring. Anyway, the board game by um Chip Theory Games. It was weird. Just by like picking up my phone, it seemed to cause some trouble. Okay, so what I'm thinking is, what if, because it seems obvious to me that if a player were to choose the orientation of this piece, then obviously they're going to choose this um the place where they're going to get something right away, right? So are we okay with that? You know? Um because what I could do here is just like basically force them to take something else. Actually, this feels a little like over designing. So instead of this just spins, right? And then just put like a little X. Elements X. So it just means they cannot place, they just can't choose this side, but they can arrange things how they want, except they can't place. Oh, this is also tricky because then what if Okay, yeah, this isn't great. Hmm. It's not great because then once you're on here, you're going to want to travel. You may want to reveal something else from here. So how would you show that you can do that? Yikes. Um, hmm. Well, I think I need 4 of these anyway. I mean um 4 hexes, and the reason is because actually let me group that and spin it. Yeah, because I think TTS cares about this. So it would bring out, actually maybe it is better the other way. Because it can go anywhere. Let me flip this around actually. Okay. That looks pretty good. Okay, we'll group that. And then, yeah, because when it comes out of the bag, it should come out in this orientation, is the point. Or maybe a town is just like that's the only type you can't leave from. I suddenly already hate what I'm. Sorry, I'm just checking the distance here. This says 50 minutes? What? What the heck? Avoid highways. It's actually neat to know that I could get there I could get to Eva Beach on my scooter. Apparently. I didn't know that. It would take me 15 minutes to do it, but I could do it. I had no idea. Okay. And I do see, like, if I mess with my phone, that's when I get some. Here, let me text. I'm gonna text this guy then really quick, Nick. But that's when I lose some stability, and it makes sense. Like I'm taking attention off of the hotspot, probably, or something like that. Okay, cool. So the reason I'm like revisiting this shape is it feels like there's too much extra movement, like unnecessary extra movement. It could be. It's also like kind of a weird thing to like. It would leave this space open, right? Because there's no way to get in there. Right, because this doesn't obviously doesn't you can't get in there. So I thought, like, why now? Here's just more extra dead space, right? So you have to like move all the way around. But if we change the shape to this, it's a lot more modular. You can, yeah, it's more flexible. So I think that's better. And the reason to keep it at 4 rather than 3, which would be super flexible, is that now we can also we can keep the variety in these other colors. So I still think the big nest is good because if you have 4 players, they can all start somewhere around the nest. Like crowded on the nest doesn't huh. Well, it also okay. So what I was gonna say is you could shift the nest and kind of sit it right here, and then you've got the 4 players around like that. But also, I think it's great to have like this differentiating tile just to start with. It's big, it's different size, so you don't have to look around. Everything else is just randomized. So in a in a face down stack. So I think that's better. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. So when people move off of this, let's say here's a player. Where's the player moving from? Are they moving from here to there? Are they moving from here to there? Right? So if I'm here, I have to move off the straight edge. Because what if I wanted to move off here, and if I change these shapes and I wanted to move off here, could I do that? Or do I always have to move like that? Right? The difference is, let's say I move on here, move like this, and I jump that way, or I jump this way or this way. Do I always have to jump off that flat edge? Hmm. Hmm. I don't know. I'm just gonna make a bunch of these tiles and then see. So okay, the planes were okay. Let me just duplicate. Wait a minute. So the forest is 3. Okay. The forest is going to go down to go down to 2 items. What about this weird shape? I don't know. Because I am still thinking, what if, let's say we, because I could force a decision on, also, why is it like this? It should be that. Because we could force something like this. Like it has to be either of these 2 spots. right? Why? So when it comes out, they either place it on this one or this one. It could be like that. And this way, so if I do this, I might as well do this then. Okay, and just drop this over here too. I don't know if I can change the dimension of this triangle. Oh, I can. Yeah, then never mind that. So it should be rotated so that the point would be 90 degrees. Okay. Right, that's not bad. Oh, these are slightly off, huh? That's okay. Actually, maybe I should fix these. So these should be middle, and these should be center. Okay, and then if I were to group these, now this should be middle. If I were to group these, oh, weird. Did that do it? Doesn't look great. Oh, is it that their rotation is not quite right? So rotation. Let's put these at 120 and 120. Okay, and let's do whatever. Yeah, I have no idea why they're all like that. Huh. It's still off somehow. Hmm. At least these should be better aligned. And it is kind of, but not. That's very weird to me. Maybe the dimension of the hexes themselves are also weird. I don't know. Anyway, that looks fine. I wonder if I should just duplicate this now. I can drop these circles in here. Okay, and change the color. I think the forest would be 2, right? I think that's what I'm doing actually. So these are actually gone. And so this doesn't matter at all, but I mean, why not just give them that choice up here? Also, what's happening? Oops. Okay. And then duplicate this. And make this one the mountain. So it's going to be gray. Right. Duplicate this. And I'll need these triangles because now this is going to be just the planes. Okay, so group all this stuff. Wait, what happened to the here? Okay. Okay, let's say that's everything. So it'll be. Oh, we also need Elijah. Don't forget that guy. Okay, we'll bring him down, and I think that means we're duplicating this one. So just bring this over here. Actually, no. Right, do we need this variety? Do we need more than one of these? Do we need 2 forests? I think so, because then the shape would get like it could change. And there could actually be 3 forest types, actually, right? Hmm. So there can be 3 forest types. Yeah, maybe. Let's bring this down. Do this in a second. Should there be a bunch of plains types? Probably not, right? Well, I guess there could be 2. And there could be 2 of these. Okay. But we need an Elijah, so that's why I duplicated this guy. Let's go in here. And it just means grabbing him, getting rid of this thing. Let's ungroup everything. Okay. There's no river at this point. So I think we lost the timer, perhaps. Okay, let me just make this adjustment. Group. I do like how everything is going to be aligned in this same way. It'll at least look better on TTS when things come out of the bag. I don't think it matters a big deal other than that, but okay, so it can look like this. Okay. And then I can make the other mountain type, and then I think that's it. So I'll just go this way. Grab this thing here. Perfect. Oh, the forest type. Okay. So that should be everything. How many tiles did I have in general? So there were 10, 12 in here. Let me see the distribution. Let's search. Okay. 4. Go back. Take me back to the garden. Okay. Okay, so here we have 4 plains, 3 forests, 2 mountains, 2 towns, and 1 Elijah. Okay. Okay. So, oh, that's perfect. That's literally perfect because I have 3 forests. I already have 2 mountains, and I can duplicate both plains and duplicate the town, and there's Elijah. So that's ideal. So page 14 through 22. Need to remember to um, have transparent background. And we're doing 14 through 22. Watch this be like completely unplayable. I mean, awkward to place. Just a 22. Okay. It's cool how the math worked out though, like with the different tile types. Okay, and then I'll drop these in here. Take me back to the garden. Got to play Puerto Rico yesterday. I was intending to learn it on BGA because I saw one of my friends was playing, and I knew it was like a classic, and I heard a few things about it that made it a little intimidating for me. So, what if I just do this? Like, my understanding was that the game has like pretty set openings, so players that really know what they're doing, they just have. I mean, they just kind of do the same thing. I forget what the merge distance is, but it was the same size. Okay, that works. I'm surprised that they came in this angle. Oh, maybe it's because this was rotated a certain way. Okay. 14, 15. Take me back to the garden. Stackable. I should make this stackable too. See, I like this. I like this right here. That drops in like that is cool. Because that other shape wouldn't allow it. What if I just drop in like this? Why is it not letting me? Doesn't allow it. Right on. And I think we're making 2 of those. So we'll have like that, something like that, and then now we need. Let's see, that was 15. Oh, don't need you. 16. Yeah, so Puerto Rico. I clicked through the tutorial on BGA, and it was making sense. I wasn't. I mean, it seemed pretty straightforward mechanically, but then I also started seeing like, oh, this game could be pretty harsh. because there are things, sometimes there are things like you force other players to do at times that are not ideal for them, and so that hurts pretty bad. I mean, it hurts their game pretty bad. But that's part of it, and I mean, I guess that's colonial life. So anyway, that was kind of, I was kind of intimidated, but then I went to Armchair last evening and I saw, do these stack? No, they don't. Okay, so these do not need to be stackable. Okay, so they're just gonna sit. Yeah, they're just gonna sit on top of each other. That's fine. This is gonna become a kind of an odd, oh no, this works out well. Right. So I went into Armchair, and one group was just finishing up their game. What was that? That was 17, so it's 18. And then my friend Stefan, he mentioned they played Puerto Rico or something. I said, "Oh, I've been meaning to play that. I just learned it on BGA." And anyway, so they said, "Yeah, we played it earlier today, but we could play it again." And that was crazy because that almost never happens. Is this right? Like, what group wants to set up a pretty big game and play it again the same day? I don't know. But Puerto Rico, I guess, wasn't. Yeah, my friend Stefan has all the fancy stuff, so it really did. It really is like kind of a setup thing. Like, it does take a while. But anyway, he gave me a tutorial. We played with expansion stuff, which always is a little scary, right? But then it turned out to be really good. I mean, it was harsh like I expected. There were moments where, like, yeah, if you're looking around the table, you can really mess with people. Like, you can really put them in a bad position. And that happened to Omar a few times. So he ended up in last place because people kept messing with him, like, and delivering goods. Okay, almost there. So we've got just to place the 3 forests. Okay, what do I already like about this? First of all, this is a much more contained map. It's a lot smaller than it would have been, right? If you had almost another half to these hexes. So I think that's good. It's more packable. There's less real estate to mess with. You could still build out the map however you like. And there's less unnecessary movement. I thought that's probably important. Because same thing, like point inflation. Like, if all of your money goes in like 5s, 10s, and 20s, then just make it, 1s, 2s, and 4s. So just like, why, if we have to, like, if the Ravens, can they all just move 1 or 2? Like, why make them with the ability to move like 5? If you have a big map, then that movement needs to be inflated. If you have a smaller map, you can just cut that movement by some factor, and I think that's probably better. Okay, so here are all the pieces. Let's let me dump them in a bag. Okay, we'll just do this, then we'll just go through a few different scenarios. Drop those right in there, and then we'll shuffle it around. Okay, so we've got our starting Ravens. Okay. Okay, just drop them in there somewhere. So let's say, and we probably have like a starting space. I think it doesn't matter a whole lot right now, but okay, so how does this work? So we've got the bag of tiles right there. It's very dark, isn't it? Let me move this back here. Gonna move that off out of the way because I don't think we'll need that anymore. Okay, so let's say it's this Raven's turn. They take one step and they step off. I don't know. They just step off. Okay, and let's say they step off this way. Okay, sounds good. All right, let's go blue. Oh, so there still can definitely be dead space, but let's see. So blue's gonna step off. Let's say blue steps off this way. This is already like awkward. It's weird to like show that you could do that. I don't know that you can, but why would you do that? You would definitely come over here. But there's no yeah, let me try this because there's no indication. Yeah, this is going to be very weird actually. Okay, now it's red's turn. Do they all just step off for their first turns? Like, is this interesting? Not really, right? It is going to be this kind of honeycomb style. Okay, so yellow's going to come over here. All right. Yeah, what in the world? So pull from there. Take a token, get bread. Oh, I think this was supposed to be in there too. Sounds good. Now they need to keep exploring. Come over here. Okay, this chases them away. I don't know. We don't have. So let's say it chases them off this way. Okay, how's this gonna work? Okay, they're going this direction, and that's kind of cool, right? I want a way to tuck in pieces like right here. Okay, red's turn. Like, let's see what happens if we do that with red. So we'll step off. No, red feels like they need to go here because there's no choice. So red gets bread. Cool. Who cares? Yellow. Yellow is already here. So yellow gets bread. Okay, they haven't found. Okay, it's here. So let's say they haven't found. Elijah yet. So let's have them come right here. So there's another town. Is that enough? No, it's here actually, like this. Excuse me. Okay. Well, I'm at about an hour. This was cool to revisit. I'm going to save what I have, at least. Not super promising the way that it uh, yeah. I mean, it's something, right? I kind of like just kind of realizing like it's probably, hopefully, useful to. Oh shoot, where'd that come from? Excuse me. Let me save this. Okay. Interesting that I was saving it under Biome Borneo. Hmm. Anyway, thanks for hanging out. I'm going to transition away. I think I've got some playtesting to do. Anyway, looking forward to seeing you again soon. That's it for me. Bye bye for now.